Okay, so this is just a fun video that you're not supposed to take seriously because north, south, east, west of Singapore is like really ambiguous. I mean, like the geographical center of the island is somewhere around Ang Mo Kio to Bishan, I think. Everybody knows that. But I'm gonna try my best to like split this island into like north, south, east, and west. So when I think of west, I think of like from Clementi onwards. But there are some people who actually define like west to be anywhere after Queensway, meaning Commonwealth, Buona Vista, Dover, they already consider it west. But okay, anyway, it's like you don't really have to agree or disagree. It's just that my own perception of west is actually Clementi Road. So Harbour Drive is here, so let's just put Clementi Road until Beauty World. So Beauty World, I would consider it west. So okay, to be more accurate, I would say it runs along Clementi Road, and anything to the east of Jalan Anak Bukit is not west. I mean, from my perception. So, and it doesn't really run up to till Upper Bukit Timah, just PIE. As in, I perceive the west to be like the boundary to be PIE and BKE up till KJE. So this is just one small part of like west. I think I should draw it properly. Okay, then next let's define south. So south, I would say it's more of like Ulu Pandan Road, Holland Road, and the arbitrary line that I would put for south is because if I put the line at 6th Avenue, it's gonna look really weird. So I'm just gonna put it at like Farrer Road, but not exactly at Farrer Road. Just an arbitrary line like this. And then I'm gonna run it along Bukit Timah Road all the way till Newton. You can see this is the interchange station between North-South Line, Downtown Line, Newton. So then I would run it along Newton Road and Momin Road. So anything to the south of Newton and Momin Road will be considered south, and anything to the north of it, like let's say Novena MRT and onwards, like above, I would consider it like central. I mean, you can use PIE as a border as well if you really want. Like, let's say you want St. Michael's, Whampoa area to be part of South, that's also completely fine. Although in my own perception, I perceive it to be as in I perceive like Saint Mike's and Whampoa to be together with Toa Payoh like part of Central as well. And then for the south boundary, it's basically Moulmein and Balestier Road. So Little India would be considered south to me, and Balestier Road, Lavender Street, Crawford Street. Okay, so you can cut it off at the river basin if oh god. Like something along these lines. And then east, I would say KPE shall be the boundary. So, okay, let's start from MCE. Then you go up to KPE. Just follow this dotted line. And then because like when you think of MacPherson Estate, like Circuit Road, Pipit Road, you don't think of that as central. So my cutoff would be that Tannery Road, that industrial estate, would be considered central, and so anything to the west of Aljunied Road, like from this part onwards, is considered central, and then anything to the right of it is considered east. So then I think I would just draw the line up here, I guess. About like this. Okay, let's finish the central north border. So I would pick SLE as the border. And then, okay, because uh, this country, they also have like classifications such as northeast as well. So the cutoff for me, I would say, is actually CTE. And then the cutoff will be until, let me see. Okay, this is Bartley Road. Okay, so from CTE to Bartley Road. And then there is actually a clear distinction between north and northeast. So the distinction will be at Yishun Dam. So let's just draw it here. And to be fair, let's follow CT. So we'll follow this road down here. Okay. And then there are also some areas which are like ambiguous. So I'm just gonna highlight the ambiguous areas. UT is one of them. So let's just say that this area up till, let's see. Okay, the dam area. No, no, not the dam. It's like the Kranji Reservoir. Let's just say. Okay, we'll cut it off at the river canal thing over here. And let's see. After the okay, canal, and after the canal, okay, then we would use Mandai Road as a border. So okay, maybe let's follow the water body, like, okay, like about like this. Follow the greenery. So this area over here, which encompasses UT, because UT is like, it's both west and north at the same time. But then you don't really hear a lot of people saying that UT is like the northwest of Singapore. More often than not, you would just hear people saying that, oh, I live in the north of Singapore at UT. I rarely hear like northwest from my friends. And they don't really consider themselves like part of west either. And it's more inclined to be like north, if anything. So this area, I would say it's ambiguous. And okay, honestly, I don't think that this one should be in red. This one over here is like, all right, so right now I've finished like the west and north border. So this will be west. Now, if you really wanted to carve out like northwest, you can. So how I would do it is like I would use like okay, I forgot where the road is, but the alignment of the road is, but you can use Old Choa Chu Kang Road as the border between like west and a subsection of west. Let's just call it northwest. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. So again, this red area here, it's like it's neither west nor north at the same time, but it's more leaning towards like north. So I would just leave it as an ambiguous area. And then when you talk about the zoo, you don't think of it as west. So, and you don't really think of it as central, even though it's sort of like part of the central catchment nature reserve. Yeah, that's a thing. And when you say Mandai, people would think north. They wouldn't really think central. So arbitrarily, I'm just gonna like cut it off like somewhere around here. So the zoo would be north. So north is completed. So you can see like the red over here is like sort of a transition zone. There is another arbitrary area though, which I would like to point out. The first one is, I would say, let's zoom in a little bit. So Tannery, the, basically like what you call Kallang Industrial Estate, I consider it part of Central. Although you might hear people say it's east, but it is so close to like MacPherson, Serangoon, Bendemeer, PIE, St. Andrews and stuff. So I would consider it part of Central. So I guess the ambiguous area would be okay. So this one is like Lavender Street, and I would say cut off at Bendemeer Road, and then PIE is the border. And let's say this one is the border. Yeah, it's like okay, no, East Coast Park is here. Okay, okay. I got confused for a second. So East Coast Park is definitely east. Like, there's no debate about that. So this area over here is, you can say it's ambiguous, but I prefer to call this one like a transition zone because when you think of Kallang, it's along east-west line, and because of that, people would be inclined to say that Kallang is to like the east of Singapore, which is correct. There's nothing wrong about that statement. Although I would consider it like in this ambiguous zone because it's like Kallang is like it's not like really east either. It's like it's kind of mashed up together with like central in a way. So okay, and this area, okay, let's just say this one is part of like the transition zone as well, which is like neither east nor south. So yeah, we have one ambiguous area and one transition zone. And there is actually another one as well. MacPherson Estate is the east. So naturally this area would be the east. But then this area around Tai Seng, just this like small little area, it kind of gives me like sort of a central feel to it. So I'm just gonna again, many people would consider this east, but like because it's so close to like Bartley Road, I might make an exception for this one. So again, transition zone. Okay, and then the next one, okay, this is central. Now, for me, I would consider like Bukit Timah, the entire area as like central. I mean, except this part of like Bukit Timah Road between between Newton and Serangoon Road, that is part of South in my opinion. But this whole area around here is like, how do I put it? Some people say this is West. Some people say it's South. Some say it's Central. I'm more leaning towards Central. It's like people who have the boundary between West and South at Queensway, they would be more inclined to say that Bukit Timah is this part of Bukit Timah would be like the west of Singapore. Again, which is completely fine. But to me, it's central. If you think this area is like kind of like popping out, I can just make it another ambiguous area, I guess, but oh well. And then there is another one. You see the river here, right? Sungai Serangoon, I believe. Yeah, you can say that it's like the transition zone, but in my opinion, I think the transition between north and east, northeast and east should be Lorong Halus. Okay, I think I need to be more specific when it comes to this. Because even though naturally you would say that the river is like a geological separation between areas, yes, that's correct. And many other countries, they do this as well. In my hometown, Japan, they also do this as well. It's like they use the Edo River as a separation between Tokyo and Chiba, and then Tone River is the separation between Chiba and Ibaraki. So yeah, they do use rivers to like separate. But the way I perceive it is that this road, Industrial Park and Lorong Halus, like over here, will be the separation between northeast and east. So arbitrarily it's okay, never mind, what did I do? Okay. I would say it's okay, basically that road I showed you. And then the cutoff between northeast and east, like in this area, I would say it's Bartley Road East up till here. So this is northeast, this is south, and then this is unquestionably east. Now you might be thinking of Pulau Ubin. Uh, I would say extend this line like this. So, fair enough. But with regards to like my own opinion, uh, these red areas, I would just leave them as like transition zones. And if I wanted to make like a clearer distinction between north and west based on my own perception, then I would actually use KJE and the MRT depot. It's Gali Batu MRT depot, and there will be a bus depot there. So the bus depot will be the separation, and I would lump UT together with West. Like I would say the canal is like the cutoff. Okay, like again, I do understand that like most people would say UT is in the north, and I don't disagree with that. But in my own opinion, because geographically it's like neither here nor there, I'm like it feels more west to me. So that's how I would put it. And then as for this transition zone, okay, maybe something along the this line. Yeah, like so this would be my own opinion. I would put UT under west actually. And kind of the other reason why I put UT under west is because it's so near to Choa Chu Kang that like calling UT north, even though it's not weird, but for me it's weird. It's just personally I feel it's a little weird. So there you have it. This is my own perception, and it is completely okay to have a different perception or opinion of what is north, south, east, west. This is just my own perception.